We are back with another special edition of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast. That's right, we are back with another edition of everybody's favorite segment, The 5 Count. This week on The 5 Count, I'm going to be giving you my top 5 favorite all-time wrestling pay-per-view themes. Not theme music, but the theme. The pay-per-view, whether it be in your house, Royal Rumble, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to give you my top 5 favorite, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's start at the bottom. Number 5, for me, the Great American Bash. Growing up a kid as a fan of WCW and the NWA, the Great American Bash was always so cool. I love the Stars and Stripes theme to it, and it always felt, it felt important. It was kind of like the summer equivalent of Starrcade to WCW and NWA, and before it was a pay-per-view, it was actually a Great American Bash tour where they had I believe that was the beginning of the Horsemen and the War Games matches. So to WCW and the NWA, Great American Bash was always important. Number 4 for me is going to be Survivor Series. Survivor Series was so cool growing up as a kid. I'm a big mark for the holiday-themed pay-per-views. And Survivor Series, I always liked the idea of the 4-on-4 and the 5-on-5. And in later years, it actually meant less. And they even did away with it. Those matches later on for a stretch. But I still get up for the pay-per-view because it's nostalgic to me. And there's usually some big blow-off to some sort of feud. It's one of the big 5 for the WWE, and it's not as important as it once was, but I do still like the idea behind the 4-on-4 and the 5-on-5 Survivor Series matches. Number 3 is going to be SummerSlam. Growing up as a kid, man, SummerSlam was always so cool. Had the coolest theme music. Again, it was WWE's Summertime WrestleMania. Always had the big matches on there. I remember Rick Rude and the Ultimate Warrior in the cage in 1990. SummerSlam 1990 is my all-time favorite pay-per-view. So, always loved the vignettes, too, for 88 and 89, going back on the WWE Network and watching those. Number 2, probably everybody's favorite, is the Royal Rumble. Nothing better than the surprises in the Royal Rumble, and it's such a meaningful moment when you win the Rumble and you get that main event ticket to WrestleMania. And in later years they've really had added more surprises. A lot of legends bring back. They debuted new guys like AJ Styles. So it's must-see TV if you're a professional wrestling fan. However, for me, the number 1 all-time theme pay-per-view is Halloween Havoc, man. I'm such a fan of like supernatural, paranormal stuff like that, and WWE, you can call it corny, you could call it hokey, whatever you want, but I love the old school Halloween Havoc. They had the announcers dressing up, and Halloween Havoc 90, I think it was 90 or 91, whichever one had the Chamber of Fear match, and Abdul the Butcher, Chamber of Horrors match, Abdul the Butcher got electrocuted, and the ghouls came out, and the orderlies, and the dead zombie orderlies, and the cloaks and stuff. It was so cool, man. That's the one pay-per-view that the WWE should bring back today, and they could do so much more with it, being that so much time has passed. But to me, my all-time number 1, easy, hands-down, Halloween Havoc. Honorable mention goes to ECW's November to Remember. That was one of their big events before they went on pay-per-view, and once they became a pay-per-view company in April of 1997, the November to Remember became a pay-per-view, and it became one of their biggest ones of the year. It's where Shane Douglas won the title from Bam Bam Bigelow in Pittsburgh. Just huge matches there. So, and that's about it. I can't think of any other one off the top of my head that I really enjoy as much as those, unless we're talking about ECW's December to Dismember. No, I'm just kidding. So, for another edition of the All Night Long Wrestling Podcast and the 5 Count, I'm the Enforcer, and I am tapping out.